After the lesson, you will be able to identify poor color contrast and apply contrast best practices to make slide content more accessible for all users, especially those with low vision or color blindness. Let's get started. Why does color contrast matter? Here you see several color combinations. Each area shows both good and bad color contrast. As you can see, low contrast equals low readability. What is color contrast? Color contrast is the difference in brightness between text and the background. The Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, WACG 2.1, require a minimum of 4.5 to 1 contrast ratio for body text and 3 to 1 contrast for large font, 18-point size or bigger. Having proper contrast ratios is crucial for readability. It also supports readability for all users, especially in bright or low-light environments. The next few slide examples you will see have poor color contrast. You'll see a before and after style where the contrast is fixed to adhere to the WCAG standards. Before. After. Before. After. Before. After. Here are a few best practices for color contrast to keep in mind. 1. Use dark text on light backgrounds and vice versa. 2. Avoid red-green combinations for those with color blindness. 3. Use WebAIM contrast checker or other integrated tools to check accessibility. 4. Use branded, accessible color palettes built into a program. You can download a printable infographic in the module resources to refer to. In the next section you will see a demonstration of the WebAIM contrast checker tool.
Today we're going to look at the accessibility panel once again in Microsoft PowerPoint. And I'm also going to be showing you the WebAIM contrast checker tool that you can use. That's an external service from Microsoft, and it's available on the web, which would be a great resource for checking the color contrast on anything that you're working on, not just PowerPoint slides. But first thing I want to make sure that you know that is integrated with Microsoft PowerPoint system is the Accessibility Assistant, and there is an entire section for color and contrast. So when you're looking at the panel on the right-hand side, it has a section specifically to look at what it looks like for hard-to-read text contrast. This one has a check mark, which means that it is passing the internal checks that are going on. There also is other color options such as inspecting without color, and it can show what it might look like for someone who has low visibility for color or is unable to detect certain color combinations, especially red-green color blindness, which is the most common type. And you can play around with those settings within the Microsoft system there. But if we wanted to use the online service to be able to look at the accessibility for a particular site using the WebAIM online portal, we can now see that the contrast checker is pulled up. The link for this particular website and where to access the color contrast checker will be linked in the module resources. However, if you are wanting to check the color contrast for a particular background or text color or image, you can select the colors. If you know the hex values for the colors, you can always input those. Those are the codes that are associated with RGB values. So for example, we can use one common color, which is white, and then the other color is light gray, excuse me. So you can use different colors. But if you don't know the color, you can click on the color picker, use the eyedropper, come over to your slide where you have your color panel, click on the color, and now it will populate the color in here. And then if you want to check it against whatever color your text may be. So in this case, we know it's white. But if it was, let's say, this blue color as the text, we could, or as the background, either or, it does have them labeled foreground and background. So if you wanted to do it in the correct order, but as you can see here, if I were to choose these colors, the contrast ratio is shown as 2.16 to 1. So we know that the minimum for body text is 4.5 to 1 ratio for readability, and this would fail. So for normal text size, which would be smaller, larger text, which is maybe bolded or a larger size, and if it was a graphic, also fail. It's very difficult to read if this were what it looked like with these two dark colors on top of each other. So here you can see an example of how to use this web AIM accessibility service for color contrast checker, and how you can put your documents side by side to check the colors to ensure that they are accessible if you don't have something built into the system like in Microsoft PowerPoint.
Your next step is to complete a practice activity. The contrast challenge. You will diagnose slide readability issues from a series of sample slides. Your challenge is ready to be downloaded on the Module 3 homepage.